Should that mentorship or coaching come from your broker?
I believe so. I am a broker that is hands-on. I review every contract that leaves out of this brokerage because I want to make sure the quality is there in terms of written work, but I also want to make sure the quality is there in terms of my agent's communication with their clients. It is so important because, if I may, as women of color or people of color, we've come to a place that we accept, sometimes we'll accept anything, right? And so when we see high quality, we associate high quality with individuals of a different color. And so because we will associate high quality and good service with individuals of different color, it is important for me to ingrain in my business and the agents that we have here at Mims Realty Group that I'm going to train you like I got trained in corporate America. And in corporate America, there were certain things that we could not say, we could not do. And we were known for giving amazing service. So there's so many people that don't know how to do that. I absolutely rise to the cream of the crop because I implement that in every single transaction, every phone call, every contract. When agents walk away from working with us, they're like, wow, this was absolutely amazing. So I want to make sure that I'm passing that along to my agents. So I definitely believe that the broker should be that first face of giving amazing service because it starts at the top. When it starts at the top and they see the level of expectation, the agents will follow suit.
Welcome to the Real Estate Proverbs podcast. I'm your host, Kevin Jefferson. And today our guest hails out of the great city of Baltimore, Miss Hope Mims. How are you, Hope?
Hey, I'm amazing.
That's good.
Thanks for having me on.
No problem. I appreciate you for accepting the invitation. So Hope, tell us exactly who you are.
My name is Hope Mims. I am the broker owner of Mims Realty Group located in Baltimore, Maryland, but more narrowly, Windsor Mill, Maryland. And I've been in the real estate industry since 2005. And I started off as a part-time agent and I did really well at it, and surprisingly enough. And then I just decided in 2018 to walk away from my full-time gig and make real estate my career of choice. It's been one of the best decisions that I've made in my adult life. So I'm excited to be here. I love everything about real estate. And that's kind of how my journey started.
Got you. So what were you doing in corporate America?
So I worked for a communications company. It's a very well-known brand, Black and Red. And in working there, I was there for 20 years and I was the area sales manager for Maryland and DC. And I did a really good job there. I worked from home, which made it very easy for me to kind of filter into real estate. And I just saw an opportunity with everything that I learned in corporate America that I could take that same set of skills and implement it into my own business. And that's what I did.
Wow. What got you into real estate back in 2005?
So initially I got into real estate, honestly, just to buy a handbag, go on vacation. I'm serious. So I just saw an opportunity to be able to make some money. And when I saw the size of the checks that I was getting, I said, oh, if I want to put a down payment on a car, I just need to sell a house. Or if I want to go on vacation, I just need to sell a house so I can have spending money. And that's really where it started. But it wasn't until I started really getting into the trenches of working through deals and transactions and seeing the impact that I was having on families. And through the impact that I was having on families, helping them be able to get to the point where they're sitting at a closing table and they're getting the keys to their new home, or I'm representing a seller and they're passing these keys off over to the new buyer. That feeling was invaluable. So it was that feeling that made me continue to work to cultivate my business and provide amazing service to clients, because I feel like a lot of agents, they focus on the check instead of the relationships. Because if you build the relationships, you'll get the business. Focus on the check gets you nowhere. Focus on the business, you'll have business for a very long time. So it was really the relationships and the good feels that I got helping families either buy or sell real estate that made me stay.
Got you. Right. So where do you think more so, how do you think we can change that perspective from the realtor standpoint of get the check and on to the next one?
I think that comes through coaching.
Okay.
I think that agents that go through like real coaching, that have mentorship, those coaches and mentors should be teaching the agents that are coming along that it is not about the check. It is about the relationships. And sometimes individuals see the size of the check and that's all they think about. And quite honestly, clients know when it's just about the check for you. Because when you're living paycheck to paycheck in the real estate industry, you move different. Your conversation is different with your client, as opposed to this isn't the one, we'll keep looking. You're trying to convince that client why they really need to get this house. All of those things point to, I got to get this check. So your clients feel that. So it's kind of like that car salesman-y feeling that buyers might get. So you just want to make sure that you're focused on the relationship that you're building with these clients, because a lot of my clients have turned from customers to clients to friends. And once you get in that friend zone, you're getting invited to the cookouts and all of that. It opens up an entire door for your business. So staying in contact and in communication with your clients is essential. Just calling them to check on the kids after closing. Hey, how's the house coming along? Congratulations. It's all of those things. So the short end of it is, I believe that every agent needs a mentor or a coach that's helping them understand the impact of focusing on the check as opposed to focusing on the relationships. Because when you focus on those relationships, it'll take your business to a whole nother level.
Should that mentorship or coaching come from your broker?
I believe so. I am a broker that is hands-on. I review every contract that leaves out of this brokerage because I want to make sure the quality is there in terms of written work, but I also want to make sure the quality is there in terms of my agent's communication with their clients. It is so important because, if I may, as women of color or people of color, we've come to a place that we accept, sometimes we'll accept anything, right? And so when we see high quality, we associate high quality with individuals of a different color. And so because we will associate high quality and good service with individuals of different color, it is important for me to ingrain in my business and the agents that we have here at Mims Realty Group that I'm going to train you like I got trained in corporate America. And in corporate America, there were certain things that we could not say, we could not do. And we were known for giving amazing service. So there's so many people that don't know how to do that. I absolutely rise to the cream of the crop because I implement that in every single transaction, every phone call, every contract. When agents walk away from working with us, they're like, wow, this was absolutely amazing. So I want to make sure that I'm passing that along to my agents. So I definitely believe that the broker should be that first face of giving amazing service because it starts at the top. When it starts at the top and they see the level of expectation, the agents will follow suit.
Got you. So is that something that you should look for in a brokerage if I'm a realtor getting into the business? Is that one of the things you suggest I should look for because it makes a huge difference in your start of your business.
It does. It does. I think that working when an agent is just getting into the business, they absolutely should work somewhere where they are able to touch the broker. A lot of brokerages will have office managers. They will have mentors of sorts in place to help you through transactions. I've heard stories of individuals that are helping agents through transactions, and that individual, it was all about the dollar. They weren't really available to the agent when they needed them, but that individual was getting a nice portion of that agent's check. And so to hand off a piece of your check and you really didn't get any help, it's, I just believe that a broker should have the desire to work with the agents and be hands-on. And that's one of the reasons why I have a boutique brokerage. I don't want 250 agents, because at 250 agents, the quality will be extremely low. But if I'm able to manage a good 30 agents, and let me be very clear, there are brokerages that have a large number of agents, but maybe 60 of them are selling. I'd rather have 30 agents and all 30 of them are selling, as opposed to 250 agents and I've got 60.
Got you. So you mentioned that you have a boutique brokerage.
Yes.
Where did that mindset come from? Because most of the time when you get a business, you want to be the biggest and the baddest. So where did that mindset come from?
That mindset came from, I wanted a business that I could be hands-on and that I could create the individual processes and procedures, and that I could make sure that I was accessible and available to the agents. And so boutique came to mind, and I still have that same thought today. I want to make sure that the quality that my firm puts out is bar none. And the best way for me to achieve that is by keeping it small. So I would prefer to have a handful of amazing agents that are going above and beyond the call of duty, providing excellent service to their clients, being outstanding negotiators, and just being amazing realtors all around, than having individuals that just kind of get in where they fit in. I'd rather have a sustained group of people that we are all on one accord and we're operating with the same intention, and we also have the same goals in mind.
Got you. How difficult was it to transition from being an agent to a broker owner?
So I had some motivation. So I'm going to tell you a quick story. So I worked for one of the larger brokerages. I will let them remain nameless. But I worked for one of the larger brokerages. I was there for quite some time, probably about 7 or 8 years. And I had a transaction. It was about $1.2 million. It was 3 homes and 27 acres of land. I did not want to make a mistake. I had never had a transaction that large. So I reached out to my broker with questions. My broker never responded, never answered any of my questions, text messages, emails, smoke signals, you name it. I could not get in contact with my broker. And I made myself a promise. Now, one thing that I don't do is I don't make me a promise that I don't keep. And the promise that I made myself was, if I can get this transaction closed, I will open my own brokerage. And that's exactly what I did. Now, interestingly enough, my last day at that brokerage, I went in to say my goodbyes to everyone. And one of the office assistants, she and I were talking. I explained the story to her in terms of why I was leaving, because the broker had not reached out to me, never responded to any of my messages regarding that transaction. And the broker's right-hand man came out of his office, and I remember it like it was yesterday. He had no shoes on, and he stood up in front of me and he said, "Oh, I overheard you talking. Why didn't you reach out to me with your questions?" And I said, "Because you're not the broker." And so he said to me, "Well, where are you going?" And he named a host of brokerages and said, "Are you going here, 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 or here?" I said, "I'm not going to any of them. I'm opening my own brokerage, Mims Realty Group." He looked me up and down. He looked me up and down and said, "Oh, you'll be back." He doesn't even know what he did for me. He does not even know what he did for me. But he challenged me in saying that I would be back because he was imposing failure on me. And I was so confident in that very moment that I would never be back. No matter what it took, I was going to work my tail off to make sure that I never came back. So that was really my motivation for opening my brokerage.
Wow. Interesting. So you got the fire under you. When you started opening it and you were there, did you ever have that thing like, "Lord, what have I done?"
Let me tell you, I had that feeling after about 2 weeks, and I was sitting in my office looking around like, I can't believe I walked away from my full-time job. Like, what am I doing? I mean, you always have that. And anyone that's looking in terms of becoming an entrepreneur in any facet, right? You're going to have that moment where you say, "Yes, I'm going to walk away from this full-time job." But once you've done it, you then start to second guess yourself. You start to think about, okay, now I've got to figure out how I'm going to pay for my health insurance. Now I've got to figure out, okay, how hard am I going to really have to work? Is business going to come? So you have all of that that's occurring in your mental, right? And when I was in corporate America, one of the things that they taught us was, listen, if you are not doing well in a particular area, reach out to somebody on the other side of the country that's doing well. Find out what they're doing. They're not your competition. Successful people don't mind sharing with you how they became successful. They actually like to talk about it. And so it was a magazine, the Realtor magazine, that would often come out. It comes out periodically. And I saw a young lady in there, Carrie Jo Little. She's out of West Chicago, Illinois. And I would see her in this magazine probably on 4 different occasions. And they were featuring her in 4 different publications, right? So I said, you know what? She looks like me. She's not in my area. I'm going to reach out to her. And I did that. That was 4 years ago. I talked to Carrie every week. She also has a boutique brokerage, Caremark Realty. And we exchange ideas. We implement different things within our brokerages. If I've tried something and it didn't work, I'll share that with her. If she tries something and it didn't work, she shares it with me. And so it's just a collaborative effort. So it's a great relationship that we've built to be able to help one another through this course of boutique brokerage ownership.
Gotcha. I come to Mims Realty as an agent, whether I'm new or experienced.
Okay.
Walk that process through with me. Like, walk me through from the beginning of me signing the documents to me actually functioning as a real estate agent.
Absolutely. So my goal is always to set any agent up that comes to Mims Realty Group as a realtor, to set them up for success. And so what that looks like is we do some pre-work before, they will have met me in person over coffee. Maybe we've done a Zoom of some sort, but they will have met me in that respect. And the reason why they meet me like that is because every agent doesn't fit everywhere. And so because I run my brokerage a certain way, I need to ensure that the agents that decide that they want to come to Mims Realty Group, that they will fit with our culture. And if they don't fit with our culture, I'm certainly going to recommend them to another brokerage where I think that they would be a good fit. So that's the first thing. I don't believe that every agent fits everywhere. But if I do find that this individual does fit with us, then, we'll go through a host of paperwork. They're going to have trainings set up where they go through. I have a binder that I provide our agents with, and it really sets them up for success. It talks about social media, what they should do, what they shouldn't do. It has a tab for if you're representing a buyer. Here's everything you need to know about representing a buyer. Here's a process map that shows when you're in the middle of a transaction, this is what you do first, this is who does it, and this is the time frame that it needs to be done in. So I set my agents up for success by providing them with a hands-on workbook that they can work from to run their business. So they don't have to walk in as a brand new agent not knowing what to do, because I'm handing it to them. And so I think that level of success, that level of commitment will certainly help an agent get off the ground really, really fast. One of the reasons why I did that, and being a boutique brokerage owner, is I had to, when I first started, I remember when I lost my first agent. And I lost my first agent because they always had to come to me to ask questions. I didn't have a binder. I didn't have any processes or procedures in place. It was them ask me a question and I give the answer, but they had no reference material. And so it wasn't until they left that I realized that I needed to do a brain dump, which is what a lot of entrepreneurs don't do. They know what to do, but when they bring on employees, the employees don't know what to do. So they're heavily leaning on that entrepreneur or that CEO to get answers to their questions. So I had to do a brain dump and take everything that I knew and put it on paper. And then I had to systematize that so that our agents would have a form of reference material that they could go to be able to run their business. So anyone coming to Mims Realty Group, they're going to meet with me first. They will have a series of trainings that they go through. Not only that binder, we'll go through that page by page. And I'm doing this training myself. We will also go through systems to ensure that they know how to write a contract. They will write kind of like a dummy contract, because I need to see what they got. We'll need to make sure that this contract is perfect so that when they go off on their own to write a contract, they can follow the example that we did together. So that's the kind of training that we do. Included in that, we talk about marketing, how to market their business. I'm heavy on social media. I love social media. I've built my business, my personal business, off of social media. So that's what I teach my agents. And that's what's important to me. So we go through a whole gamut of everything involved in running a real estate business to make sure that the agents are successful. And I have some really great success stories within my brokerage of individuals that came and they knew absolutely nothing, and they are currently thriving in their real estate business.
Awesome. How many agents do you currently have?
I currently have 17 licensed realtors. And the licenses range from operating within the state of Maryland, the state of Pennsylvania, as well as the District of Columbia.
Okay. All right. Awesome. And do you bring on new agents, or do they have to be seasoned?
So all of our agents that we have been brand new, straight from real estate licensing class, taking the PSI exam, and they came to me. I'm that broker that when they say, hey, I want to come with you, I see your success on social media, I want to get with y'all because y'all are killing it. I'll say to them, hold on, I want you to interview with some other folks, because I don't want you to come to me just because of what you see on social media, because realtors on social media make real estate look really, really easy, right? We post just listed, coming soon, under contract, sold, we make it look easy. But when they get into the trenches of what we do, Oh, this thing is late nights, early mornings, no weekends. You're stealing away for a vacation. And we're therapists. It's like we do so much crazy stuff to be able to get a deal done. And that's the part that people don't see on social media. So, most of my agents came straight brand new, and they were averse to social media. But now that they have it's clicked, like I've got to implement social media. Once they've implemented social media and they start with getting referral business, they don't have to do as much on social media. But you've got to be where people are. And social media is where people are in order to start your business.
How important is that mix of social media and face-to-face networking?
It's so important. You have to have a balance. Now that COVID is certainly not in the position that we were 2 years ago, outside is opening up. We've got to take it as realtors. We've got to take advantage of the opportunities that people want to get out. That social networking face-to-face is so important because people can connect with you in one way on social media, but I promise you when they meet you face-to-face, they want to see if they're the same person, right? Filters are a big deal on social media. I want to see if you really look like what you look like on social media, right? So going outside and connecting with people, having conversations with people want to know what you know. And if you can confidently represent your personal brand in a face-to-face conversation with individuals at a live event, at a networking event, at a party, any social scene, you will take your business to different heights because people are in layers and individuals will dose themselves out in layers. But oftentimes people will follow you on social media and they'll follow you for a very long time before they decide that they want to work with you. Same thing in person. They want to know who you are. How do you represent yourself? What things do you care about? And so I think that with outside opening up, every realtor should be taking advantage of going outside and meeting new people, even if that means, listen, I've got a pocket full of business cards or my e-business card. I can't come home until I've connected with at least 10 new people today. And that's how you start to build your brand, because you've got to impose those types of things on yourself. And even if it means having to go outside to do that, I think that that's important. I think that we should use tools like Eventbrite. Eventbrite, they're always posting what's going on in your area. Use Eventbrite and go to events where it's not a realtor event. Go to a non-realtor event and now you're the only realtor in the room and you've captured that whole room. So take advantage of those types of opportunities. And that is huge. It will take your business to another level. Because if you stay complacent, your business will be complacent. But if you stretch yourself and you stretch yourself beyond your comfort zone, it will definitely show up in the bank.
How do you get that mindset in terms of stretching yourself when I need that check?
It's a balance. It's a balance. Real estate is a cyclical business. So you've got highs, you've got lows. You've got when the market, in a course of a 12-month period from January to December, when the market typically is very, very strong and when it typically is not, right? But it's about building a pipeline. And so it's a 90-day period. So what I'm doing here in May is what's going to show up in August. So you have to constantly work. But you take 2-3 months off, 2-3 months later, you're not going to have any business. So you've got to constantly work at it every day. And what that looks like is operating multifaceted. So you have to operate with social media. You've got to operate with mailers. You've got to operate with with face-to-face events. You've got to operate with, let me do an event in my neighborhood. There's so many ways to connect with individuals that you've got to be able to continue to feed your pipeline, because every client is not today business. You're going to meet some individuals that aren't ready today, but they will be ready in 6 months. So I got to eat today, but I got to eat 6 months from now too. So I can't ignore that individual that's got some credit challenges and they got a little bit of things to clean up. I'm going to stay in contact with that individual. And that's what a lot of realtors don't do. They don't focus on the individual that's not today money, and they don't follow up with them. That's where CRMs are so important. And our brokerage provides our agents with a CRM to be able to stay top of mind with clients that might not be ready today, so that we can continuously have a funnel going.
Is your CRM proprietary, or you have one that's already?
No, I use Lion Desk.
Okay.
I use Lion Desk, and I've been using that for a couple of years now. And it serves the purpose. It keeps us top of mind. And quite honestly, when our agents are sending, have their clients set up on drip campaigns, they might have connected with somebody 4 months ago and they weren't ready then. But because this drip campaign is constantly in their ear via either text message or email, now this individual is like 4 months later, hey, I'm ready to buy. I'm so glad you sent me this message. Or I'm ready to sell. I'm so glad you sent me this message. I was just thinking about you and your email came through. So staying top of mind is essential in this business, and you've got to do it consistently. And having a great CRM allows you to be able to do that. The only tools that will work for you are the ones that you use.
Makes sense. Makes total sense. How often should I be sending something to my client or the person that I met, the lead?
At least once a month.
Okay.
At least. Here in the state of Maryland, there are 55,000 more than. A year ago, there were 55,000. So they're probably more than that now. There are at least 55,000 licensed realtors here in the state of Maryland. My agents and I have this conversation all the time. Why would someone pick you? They have 55,000 options. Why you? And so that gets them thinking like, well, what am I doing so special that somebody would want to choose me? It can't just be because I post on social media. So I've got to do things and connect with the individuals that are like-minded, that like what I post. I have them to pay attention to that kind of stuff. And so you've got to earn your keep, but you've got to work at it. And you can't work at something and do it one time and say, oh, that didn't work, and throw your hands up. You've got to create a game plan. Whatever you implement, you say, I'm going to implement this for 6 months and stay with it consistently. But yeah, I think that through the CRM, individuals, agents should be connecting with their client base at least once a month. Because if I put someone into my drip campaign and I'm not communicating with them, 6 months later, they're ready, and I've never said a word to them, well, by then they've probably connected with another realtor that did pay them some attention. And then when I reach back out, they're like, oh, I found somebody already. I'm good.
And then you're salty.
Oh, yeah, you're real salty. You're real salty. Be mad at yourself. Be mad at yourself.
Mad at yourself. I'm apprehensive to social media.
Okay.
I don't necessarily use it. I've got a Facebook page and Instagram, but I don't post. But I want to implement it. What are the first couple of posts, or how should I figure out what to post?
You know, that's a great question. I have a document that I've supplied my agents with that is 30 days of posting. Sometimes what realtors think is that I've got to post something about real estate every day. Posting something about real estate every day hurts your business because individuals don't get an opportunity to know the real you. They want to know if you read books. They want to know what your favorite meal is. They want to see pictures of your kids. They want to see you interacting at a social event. They want to see who you are. So having an idea of, I don't need to post about real estate every day, but I do need to sprinkle that in, will take you so much further than posting about real estate every day. And maybe you start off with, hey, I got to post something at least 3 days a week. So maybe 2 of those days I'll post about my personal life, and 1 of those days I'll post about real estate. But there has been a switch in the algorithms for a lot of these social platforms, specifically Facebook and Instagram. Video is more powerful than a still photo any day. So there's so many individuals, they're like, I hate the way I sound. Well, get over it. That's the way you sound. Get over it. That's the way you sound. But I tell individuals and I encourage our agents to make sure that you start off slow, meaning give a quick 1-minute tip. You can pull yourself together to say something for 1 minute and then branch off and then do a segment where you're doing, hey, my 5-minute segment, and you talk about a topic that you know. People want to engage because they know you know what you're talking about, or at least you sound like you do. Right? So having an opportunity to start off on social media with baby steps and not feeling like you have to post about real estate every day. Mix in some personal life, because there could be somebody that has a dog and you have a dog. Well, they want to work with you because you have a dog too. So individuals connect in that manner. So that's what I would say to the individual, to the agent that doesn't post on any social platforms. Get started. That's where your client base is. Because you could pick up 1 or 2 clients on social media that you may never have met. And remember that it's not all about social media, because there are people that own homes that are not even on social media. So those individuals, you got to send mailers to them. So you got mailbox clients and you got social media clients.
All right, which leads to my next question. How do I find who I'm a mail to?
Depends on what you're targeting. So you could mail to non-occupied owners, individuals that are out of state. They're maintaining a property from afar, or maybe they have a property management company and the tenants that are in there have stopped paying rent, or it's just too much to handle because my life where I am is too busy for this property that I have in another state. It's a seller's market right now. So this property that I may have paid pennies on the dollar for 12 years ago, well, today it's worth how much? Let me get rid of that. And I can use that money and put it into a different investment. So out of state sellers is a really, really good direction to go in. But it depends on what you're targeting. You know, are you targeting probates? Are you targeting, folks that are getting a divorce? And so you'll reach out to divorce attorneys because they got to get rid of that property, right? So it just depends upon what you're looking for. Are you looking to target aging communities where when they bought the house and they had kids, it might have been 45 years ago. Well, now their kids are grown and they've moved out and now they can't take the steps anymore. So now they need a condo or they need a rancher. I'm a target those individuals in terms of sending mailers so that I can represent them. The other thing that I would say is if you have a niche and you focus on a particular area, a particular town, a city, a zip code, community, and you do a lot of work there, make sure people know that you're doing a lot of work there. Send mailers out and put the pictures of the houses that you sold. so that people know, oh, wow, she's selling. Like this lady is really selling around here. But you've got to touch people in different facets in order to make sure your pipeline stays full. But if you pick just one way and you don't seem to get any traction from that, you'll feel like real estate isn't for you. It's not jumping off like you thought it was, because again, it's real work and you have to work at it to build a business.
How do I pick my niche?
Depends on what you like. I would say, so here's some interesting niches. There are individuals that only work condos. And so if I'm a buyer, I want the specialist. So if you term yourself, I'm the specialist with condos, anybody thinking about a condo and you brand yourself that way, anyone thinking about a condo is going to come to you because that's all you handle. And you hand everything else off. I'm your condo specialist. No matter where you want to buy, I do condos. Or I only work with first-time home buyers. That's my niche. I know everything about first-time home buyers. I know about all the grant programs. I'm your girl if you want to buy and you are a first-time home buyer. So you just pick what your niche is and you stay in that lane and you nail it and you create that as your brand. And you say, this is what I do. Every marketing piece, this is what I do. Every time you are live, this is what I do. And it'll start to click with people. That's what she does. Oh, if you're interested in this thing, that's what she does. But I feel like a lot of people struggle with marketing. They'll put something out one time and say it didn't work. These television commercials, if anybody still watches television, right? You'll see the same Nike commercial over and over and over again. You'll see the same Honda commercial over and over and over again. You'll see the same State Farm insurance commercial. Like Jake is a thing. Jake is a thing. Like who knew who Jake was? Now Jake is a whole brand. So when you say Jake, I'm immediately thinking State Farm, right? It's branding. And that's where a lot of people struggle, whether it's real estate or any entrepreneur. They don't invest in marketing. Marketing and branding will take your business to heights that you never knew possible. But you've got to constantly be in people's faces in order for it to click. So when they hear your name, they automatically think, oh, real estate. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. So I think like that's a part of the problem with entrepreneurs, and we're talking about specifically real estate agents right now. Mm-hmm. Is that the new shiny thing? Mm-hmm. I'm getting into real estate. The market's hot. My girl says she made 20 grand on a sale. I'm hopping in. I took the class. I'm done. The barrier to get into real estate is somewhat easy.
Yeah.
Right. But what you learn in that class teaches you nothing about what you actually have to do.
Yeah.
How do you stay focused with not chasing that shiny object? Because we hear 7 streams of income, mm-hmm. but none of them are trickling. None of them are dripping. None of them has a constant flow. So how do you stay focused on, okay, I'm just going to do real estate. I don't have a closing yet, but I have to focus on this in order to grow. That's a mindset in itself amongst entrepreneurs. But tell me from the real estate side, how did you say, I'm leaving this check that I knew I was getting every 2 weeks to something where I now own it and don't know when I'm gonna get paid? What guy, besides him looking you up and down saying you'll be back, mm-hmm. what else was it that drove you?
What drove me was the fact that when I was in corporate America, like I'm degreed up and down, right? And when I was in corporate America, I would apply for the job and knew I was well qualified and still not get it. Like hands down, I knew I was well qualified and still didn't get it, right? So I decided I needed to bet on me. I needed to focus all of my energy on me. And I knew that if I could stay up long hours, take work home, bring it back, create reports, all for the company's bottom line to look good and to make sure that that CEO got the biggest bonus check at the end of the year that he can handle. If I could do that for somebody else, I could certainly do it for me. And what's interesting is whether you're a boutique brokerage owner or you decide to just step out on faith and say, you know what, I'm going to walk away from this 9 to 5 and I'm going to focus on real estate full time. It's surprising how when you know that you won't eat unless you get a deal, how hard you'll work to find it. If you know that, listen, I can't pay my mortgage if I'm not selling houses. Like if I don't get a pipeline with some clients, I'm not going to be able to pay my bills. When that's in your mental, you begin to implement things into your business that you never thought you would be able to do. You will be able to connect with people in a way that you never thought you could. And there will be individuals that will come into your space. But you've got to keep your ears and your eyes open consistently. And look for people that are where you want your business to be. So if you're just working with the individuals, woe is me, they don't have a check, you don't have a check, they don't have any business, you don't have any business, that's not who you need to be connected with. You need to be connected with the individual that has processes in place. This is how I run my business. Successful people don't mind sharing with you how they became successful. Now, you might sit and talk with individuals and you'll get 10 nuggets of things to do. You're not going to implement all 10 of them. Pick 3, pick 2, and say, I'm going to kill these 2 over the next 6 months. And then implement something else. But you've got to start somewhere and you've got to make sure you're connecting with individuals that know more than you do. If you are the smartest person in the room, you are in the wrong room.
How important is it to go to conferences around real estate, participate in your local association? How important is that to your business?
I think it's huge. Real estate is a relationship business. And some people think it's just about selling houses. It's not. It's about relationships. And if you don't have good relationships in this business, your business will not go far. So being able to connect with individuals at conferences, there will be leadership opportunities available to you. But if you don't go to these conferences and connect with people to be able to see what they do, how they do it, where they failed, so that you don't make those same mistakes. It's too many mistakes out here to be made for me to make them all by myself. Too many. Too many. I don't want to make all of them. So if somebody kind of gives me a roadmap and say, hey, don't do this, I'm not going to do that. I don't need to go through the lesson in order to experience the same thing. So going to conferences and connecting with other individuals across the country strengthens your business because you're able to learn from other people. You're able to get ideas. And if you create a partnership or a relationship with these individuals, just like I did with Carrie, you'll be able to see what they're doing in other parts of the country that you might be able to bring to the city or town where you work. So it's huge. So I would totally encourage any realtor to get involved in your local associations, get involved in the national associations, Get involved in, I'm a member of Women's Council of Realtors. I'm the secretary for Greater Baltimore. And get involved. Remember, being a realtor, you are an independent contractor, which essentially means you're self-employed. So if you run it like a business, it will perform like a business.
With that, how do you become a part of your association? And I know it's different in different parts, but for those listening who just know they pay their dues to the MLS system,
Mm-hmm.
and it's done electronically, like how do you get involved in that? Because prior to, like from my experience, all of the courses that we used to have were through our MLS system. Now there's so many real estate schools that you may not even have to go into the MLS building anymore. How do you find out? I guess I'm asking, how do you find out how to get involved?
I would start with your local board.
Okay.
Your local board of realtors that the realtor would belong to. Go to your local board. They have meetings that you can certainly attend. Talk with the individuals that are at the front desk. Hey, I'm looking to get involved. Everything is volunteer work, so they want the volunteers, right? And so once you let somebody know that you want to get involved, they'll have more committees for you to be on and you know what to do with. The mantra of Women's Council is leaders are made here. Leaders are made here. So for the individual that's just getting into real estate and they're like, listen, I want to perform in a leadership role, becoming a member of the Women's Council of Realtors might be where you want to be. And it's not just for women. Men can join the Women's Council of Realtors as well. But it allows you to be able to take on leadership roles. And with those leadership roles, it opens more doors for you. You're able to connect with other individuals, build relationships, serve on more boards. It all helps your business and your brand.
Gotcha.
So definitely start at your local board, and then you can take it from there.
Gotcha. Got a question for you. You move to a new city. You have to leave Baltimore, and we put you in Idaho.
Mm-hmm.
You got your cell phone and $1,000. What would you do to start your business?
I'm going to the most popping restaurant and club they got. That's where I'm going. Because I'm going to go where the people are.
Okay.
I'm going to be this fresh chick that showed up on the scene. She's selling real estate. She don't mind talking to anybody. I'm going to take at least the first $200 of that, and I'm going to the best restaurant and club they got.
Gotcha. Make a grand entrance.
Absolutely. And I'm connecting with everybody.
Business cards in hand.
Absolutely. In hand, digital, all of that. They will all leave there with my name and number, and I sell real estate right here in Idaho.
Gotcha. Well, that's awesome. I always want to see people's mindset because that's tough.
Yeah.
You know, it's tough to get started where you're known at.
Yeah.
It's even tougher to get started where they don't know you. And sometimes I think that's an advantage because they don't know you. Mm-hmm. So then, you know, I think a lot of times in our business, we get business from people we don't know faster than we do people who do know us, which sucks because when they're in the jam, hey, Hope, I'm buying a house and I got a question. Well, who's your realtor? Well, you know, we called the sign and somebody picked up. So they said we had to go with them. But I feel like, I don't know if they know what they're talking about. They told me I had to put down $2,000 for earnest deposit. What's that?
Yeah, we get those all the time. And you're absolutely right. People that don't know you will support you faster than the people that do. They absolutely will. So I focus my time on connecting with individuals that I don't know.
Wow. That's crazy. Well, listen, Hope, this has been very insightful, very helpful to me in terms of seeing the perspective of a broker who went from a full-time gig and being a part-time agent to stepping out on faith and becoming a successful boutique brokerage in the great city of Baltimore, Maryland. I appreciate your time. For anyone who wants to get in contact with you, whether it's to ask you questions on how you became successful, or they're listening to the podcast and they want to get into real estate and join your brokerage, how can they reach you?
You can connect with me on all socials at Hope Mims. You can also reach out to me via email at hope. No, that's not it. Hope at mimsrealtygroup.com. Y'all was getting ready to get my personal email address.
No problem. No problem at all. Well, look, I appreciate the time. I look forward to this episode being posted, and have a great evening.
Thanks so much. Thanks for having me.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching the Real Estate Proverbs podcast with Kevin Jefferson. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel so you can be notified when the latest video drops.